Everybody, Matt the Bat here, and well, we got this guy right here, so you must know what we're talking about today. We got the Batman right here, Matt the Bat. Yesterday, Warner Brothers had DC Fandom, or their own kind of mini Comic-Con for their own studio, and all of it was about their upcoming comic book films, from Shazam to Aquaman 2 to Batgirl, what else is there, The Flash. But honestly, the big one for me is the Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, Jeffrey Wright, Zoe Kravitz, Colin Farrell, John Turturro, Peter Sarsgaard, Paul Dano. They finally gave us a new trailer yesterday. The last trailer was last August, during I don't know if it was Comic-Con or what, I forget what it was last August. But that's the last time we got a trailer for the Batman. And that was a great trailer. I still think that was one of the, once again, the Batman right here. Gotta wear the shirt. That was the best trailer so far in the past over a year. That was a great first trailer. It gave you a kind of a feel, a look. A little bit, you got to see Robert Pattinson beating the shit out of people, which we like to see. But it didn't show much of Catwoman or Penguin or the Riddler. But it was still a good first trailer. And, originally that movie was supposed to come out this June of 2021. But because of the pandemic, and you gotta remember, people, when that first trailer came out, they only shot about 20% of the movie at the time. At the time of that first trailer last August, they only shot 20% of the movie. Because of the pandemic, they had to shut down. And then they moved the movie from June of 2021 to October of 2021, which we might have gotten the movie this weekend, and they kept that October 2021 release date. But because they had to push things back a little bit longer, and even this, we obviously know that the month of October has been pretty crowded already, with Venom, Many Saints of New York, Bond. This week we had Halloween Kills. Next week we got Dune. So I mean, it was going to be a pretty stacked month. Then to add the Batman onto it would have really made it even more of a stacked month. But they moved it to March of 2022. It comes out to March 4th. So we're really only about less than 5 months away for this movie anyway. But anyway, we got a new trailer yesterday. And let's get into it, shall we? I'm not going to show you the trailer. You can go and watch it online. Just go on my Facebook profile and it's on there. But I'm going to bring up some stills from the trailer. And we're going to get into them. The first one is being the opening of the trailer. We have this outside of what looks like a diner. Someone's in the diner. There's a blue flash. Looks like police lights. It reminded me of Blade Runner. With the rain coming down, it looks kind of icky. And I'm like, man, this feels like Blade Runner right now. And it was a great way to just get into the mood, the atmosphere of this film. And once again, then we see Paul Dano playing Edward Nash, a.k.a. the Riddler, sitting in the diner. Cops come in. Paul Dano looks like he did in Prisoners. Like I said, when I saw Prisoners, I remember watching him in that role going, this dude is a creepy motherfucker, This dude would make a really good villain. And here he is now, maybe playing almost, going further with that role in Prisoners, and just being the more serial killer Zodiac And we're going to get to Zodiac, what I mean by that, soon. But it was a great way to start off the trailer. I think I'm talking about Zodiac. Matt Reeves, the director of the movie, he did the last two Planet of the Apes movies. War for the Planet of the Apes, Dawn for the Planet of the Apes. I love those movies, those are great movies. You can definitely tell in this trailer, and even in the last trailer, he's channeling David Fincher's Seven and Zodiac. Two great movies. I love Seven. That's my favorite David Fincher movie. And watching this trailer, you definitely get a sense of where you sat down and just watched Seven and Zodiac for like 2 months and said, I want my Riddler character to be not only look similar to the Zodiac killer, but almost bring off even more of that vibe, you know. And then you got Seven, which you had two detectives, an older detective and a rookie detective, going after this serial killer, trying to get him and trying to stop before he kills somebody else. And you definitely get that vibe in this movie, in the trailer. Almost like Jeffrey Wright is the Morgan Freeman character, and just so happens this Batman is kind of like the rookie, you know, helping the detective out. And also, this Batman movie is only in Batman's second year of being Batman. It's not his first year, even though there is a lot of stuff in this trailer that points to year one, Batman Year One, a well-known graphic comic. Especially in the Catwoman. We're going to get into Zoe Kravitz, but the Catwoman outfit and the hairstyle is very much like the Batman Year One, Selena Kyle / Catwoman. Let's see. The cinematography. Here's a few shots of the movie, of the trailer. This definitely has its own look. I love how he uses like colors like red, blue, orange, yellow throughout this trailer. It gives it its own unique look. Something we've never seen in any of the other Batman films. I mean, the Nolan films use more of a blue. Well, Batman begins with like an orangey yellow color. The Dark Knight Rises were more blue tint to them. This one looks like a grittier. This movie looks even grittier than the Nolan films. It looks even more grounded. I mean, look at the Batmobile in this. The Batmobile, really, someone said it perfectly. It looks like Batman went to John Wick and said, I need to borrow your car. And then he just made some adjustments to the car. I mean, really, it's your normal car, just so happens that Batman's driving it. So, I love the cinematography. It looks gorgeous. And this is only a trailer. Wait till the whole movie comes out. But I love seeing Batman in this trailer being brutal. That is something that I feel like none of the movies, except maybe Ben Affleck's portrayal as Batman, really show the brutality of Batman. There are a number of shots, not just seeing Batman in action, whether it's with that gang of people with the clown faces, or in Penguin's nightclub, or in some sort of alleyway or whatever, where he's getting shot at and he just starts going off on people. No, I'm talking about there are scenes in this trailer that literally you see like Catwoman watching Batman literally beat the living shit out of somebody, and the look on her face is pure horror and terror. And you also see another shot of Gordon and some of the police staff just watching in horror of the brutality that Batman is putting on people. And that's the thing, I think none of these other I love the Nolan films. The Dark Knight Rises has its issues, of course. But that is something that none of these other Batman films, not Keaton, not Bale, and the only one we got close to was Ben Affleck. But this one really shows the Batman character as, you could argue, like they say, Batman is no different from the villains he's fighting against. Really, the Joker's right. It's only one, all you need is one bad day. Just one. One bad day for you to just be like me. That's all, just one. And it's true. Batman is a psychotic, brutal, basically, person. He might not kill, that's not his number one rule, not to kill, but he will mess you up so bad that you're literally probably a breath or two away from dying. But you won't die. So I'm liking what I'm seeing in the trailer. At least in terms of the Batman that's just brutal. And the good thing is this is only in year 2. So this is a Batman that is still working out his issues. Still dealing with the death of his parents. Yeah, even though he was maybe 5 or 6 years younger when they died, now that he's Batman, he's dealing with that, going out and fighting criminals. And, obviously other criminals are emerging, like the Riddler, the Penguin. We don't know what side Catwoman is on. In the comics, she's sometimes on Batman's side, sometimes she's not. So I think we're going to see that going back and forth. Once again, we get to hear a little bit of the score by Michael Giacchino. He's done like the Spider-Man Marvel films. He did the Apes movies. He's done the Jurassic World score. But I love the score here. It's very, very different from the Nolan films by Hans Zimmer, different from the Burton films by Danny Elfman, and then Hans Zimmer came back and did the Ben Affleck score for Batman. But the Michael Giacchino score, at least the taste we got so far, is very different. It almost has this punk rock feel to it. And I like it. I think it fits, especially in this trailer, when things really start getting, quicker and more of an energy to them. In the pacing, you really hear it well. One thing is going back to Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, this is definitely inspired by the year 1 Batman story with Selena Kyle. In the last trailer we saw her with her little cat cow, whatever you want to call it. And it was almost like a beanie with just 2 little ears coming out. Once again, it looked like she just made it at home. I like a lot of the scene with her and Batman. I think that's one thing we really haven't had with Batman and Catwoman, that relationship. Since the Keaton Batman Returns with Michelle Pfeiffer, I think The Dark Knight Rises didn't do a good job of the Batman and Catwoman relationship with Anne Hathaway and Christian Bale. Number 1, the age difference was like almost 20 years age difference between them. I didn't think they really had that much chemistry. But what I'm seeing here I really like. I love this shot of like the sunset in the background, and it's Batman, Catwoman, and it's almost like a silhouette. Really, really a great shot right there. So I'm interested to see what they do with it. And the weird thing is in the trailer, every time we see her with Batman, she's not wearing the cowl like the Catwoman with the ears, so maybe they're saving that for later, maybe for another trailer. Maybe she doesn't get it till maybe near the end of the movie. I don't know. But I do like we get to see more of Zoe Kravitz in this trailer. Another person, Colin Farrell, playing Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin. We saw a lot more of him in this trailer than we did in the last trailer. The last trailer, I think we only saw like one shot of him. This one, I think a lot of people still can't believe that's Colin Farrell. It looks unrecognizable. I mean, he definitely looks like a mob boss, penguin. Not like the Danny DeVito penguin from Batman Returns, like the more fishy, weird-looking penguin. This looks more like a crime boss, And it does look different than the penguin we saw in the Gotham TV show. That was actually a pretty good portrayal. But I think this is going to be a lot more crime-oriented. And let's get into Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson looks amazing in that Batman suit. I love this Batman suit more and more. I love the collar it has, right up here. I love it's not as bulky, it's more slimming on him. And I'm fine with that. If I think this is only year 2, maybe by the sequel, he has more of a bulkier Batman suit. But I really like it. It looks good. I love the eyeliner under the eyes. You really see it in some shots like this, where it's focused more on the eyes. And then, of course, when he takes off the cowl, and you just still see the eyeliner around his eyes. It works. It looks good. And I think he looks great in the suit. I was a fan when they announced Robert Pattinson as Batman. I was like, yeah, he has that dark, mysterious look to him that I buy him as Bruce Wayne. Also in this trailer, we get to see Andy Serkis as Alfred. You see 2 shots of him in this. Interesting, he has a scar on one side of his eye. And apparently he might be walking with a cane. Some say this might be more of a military background Alfred. This Alfred might actually be the one that trains Bruce Wayne in becoming Batman rather than the League of Shadows in Batman Begins. So we'll see. Overall, this is another great trailer. The movie has an interesting look to it, a unique look. There's rumors that this movie is almost 3 hours long, which would be a great crime epic. And overall, I'm excited. His costume as the Riddler looks like Zodiac. You look at the Zodiac Killer, and you look at Paul Dano's costume as the Riddler, you definitely see the inspiration going on there, which is great. It brings it more down to a grounded, realistic villain. The Zodiac Killer was a real person, so it kind of works for what they're doing here. And I don't know how much we're going to see of the Penguin. I heard Colin Farrell say he really doesn't have that big of a role in the movie. So maybe this is just the beginning of the Penguin, and future sequels will show more of him. We also don't see John Turturro in this trailer or the last trailer as Falcone. I think he's playing Falcone. Carmine Falcone. We also don't see Peter Skarsgård. He's in this movie. We don't see him in the trailer or in the last trailer. And we still really don't know who he's playing. For all we know, he could be playing a villain that we don't know of. I've also heard some rumors that the very end of this movie is going to really make people lose their minds. Now, maybe they'll show the Joker, or whatever version of the Joker we're going to get in this movie, and maybe the actor that's playing him. They might be keeping that hush-hush. No pun intended with the actual villain hush. But we'll see. I think it's a great trailer. We're less than 5 months away. Just think in March of 2022, people, we're going to get the Batman at the beginning of the month and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness at the end of March of 2022. So we got 2 major comic book films coming in March. That's all for today. Matt here. Like I said, we'll see. Before you know it, this movie will be here.